Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Career Mode Goodness. And as you guys can see, we actually have some Champions League going on, but most importantly, we're still in that transfer window, and we have a lot of transfers to sort of catch up on, and most importantly, we're still taking a look at a sort of winger, a right midfielder, right winger sort of position. That's definitely the focus of our transfer window for the rest of this until the end of the month, pretty much. But I had a game against Shamrock Rovers, and this time it was at home. Last time I think I only tied to them 1-1, and I found it such a tough game, even just to pull off that 1-1. For some reason, they were just so strong when it came to shutting me down, and in all honesty, I just don't know how I didn't generate many opportunities against them. But as you guys can see, straight off the bat, Aubameyang's pace just shows why he's so strong straight off kickoff. You can literally run rainbows and rings around the other team with that sort of pace from kickoff. But anyways, they get the first opportunity there, and I was like, no way am I going to lose to Shamrock Rovers in these, qualifiers for the Champions League. So with that being 1-1 from the 1-1 from the first leg, I figured going into this, I just play much better, hopefully generate a lot more opportunities, and I should come off a whole lot better. So that was pretty much the game plan. Just make sure attacking wise I was really solid. But there another opportunity came, and yes, it's an opportunity, but unfortunately Sterling wasn't able to bury it. It was a little bit disappointing that he didn't put it into the back of the net, but that was well and truly into the back of the net. Aubameyang there from just outside of the box buries that in, and that was actually a really nice goal. And those are the goals that he's really good at. It was on his right foot, so his strong foot. And there's Sturridge just running rings around the defender. Unfortunately, he kind of went for the near post there. I'm not entirely sure why he directed his shot towards that side of things. We all know near post is OP, but still, there was plenty of space on the other side. Again, Sturridge there, this time with his right foot, though. Took a decent shot. Unfortunately, nothing came of it, but still, at least we're creating opportunities, and that was one of the biggest things we lacked. I put that shot in there just because it was like, you just scored this really nice first goal, and then Aubameyang went and took that shot, which was just abysmal. It was on his right foot as well, so I was a little bit confused as to what the hell was going on, but we have Munai in there, who is doing a really good job at the team at the moment. I'm trying to balance him and Coutinho out just to make sure, they both get some good playing time. Sturridge there, finally the near post does pay off for him. It was with his right foot as well, and he almost finessed it into the near post. It was the strangest goal I've seen. That was just really bizarre. Again there from Sturridge with his right foot again. He's just proven that it doesn't really matter what foot it's on. I mean, I do notice a little bit of a difference with his left foot, but overall, he's reliable when it comes to his right foot as well. And then I took a look. I wanted to make some substitutions. I needed to make sure that some players were getting played. 3-0 up. It was almost a guaranteed win for me. I decided to keep Sturridge on, and that's exactly why. He's still got a lot of room to grow. He's definitely one of those players that can develop into someone rather monsterly, and I don't even know if that's a word, but I decided to play him for that reason. And there's Sturridge again. Unfortunately, he does a great job of bullying the defender. I mean, it is Shamrock Rover defenders, but still he was bullying them and making sure he got into some space. And as you can see, he is very much involved in all of the playmaking that's going on. A really nice cross there and a great finish from Munai in there. He came on as a substitute to take over from Coutinho, and he does a great job. And we win on aggregate 6-1, and that's a 5-0 win for us, which overall is solid, but in complete honesty, I'd kind of expect that of my team. So back to the whole negotiation side of things. As you can see, I still had my eye on Shaqiri. They were certainly asking for a fair bit of money from him, and I do feel as though I was willing to spend a fair bit of money on him because he does look like a quality player and someone who can really develop very, very well. So I was still on the hunt for him. As far as some of the other players in my team, there's a few that I would like to go out on loan. I actually haven't been receiving that many loan offers, and as I say that, Oldham actually offer Pelosi there a loan deal over there, which for me would just make sense to do. And I actually put up quite a few players for loan, and he is the only one that has really been given an offer, which kind of surprised me. I think there's one more person throughout the transfer window that gets offered a loan, and that's about it, which was a little bit disappointing because I have such a deep squad that I feel as though if I just keep them on the reserves, they're not going to get any game time, so they're not going to grow as well as if they would when they're on loan. And not to mention, they'll just get a little bit unhappy. You'll start to notice their morale and things start to drop drop, and that'll be because they're not getting game time, and I simply can't afford to be playing all these different wacky players that aren't necessarily good. You know, there are times where I just need to play that solid first 11, and unfortunately for me, because of there's such a deep squad, I do have to put out a few players on loan. But like I said, you know, I wasn't really given that option. A lot of clubs didn't come in and put in any particular offers for some of the players, so that kind of surprised me. But at the same time, it's kind of cool. It just means I have a bunch of youth that I can mess around with and you know, replace if there is any opportunity, really, any sort of lower league games that I have coming up against in the FA Cup, in the Carling Cup, that sort of thing. So we'll have to see how all that shenanigans goes down. But Vela there, Carlos Vela, he looks fantastic. He does look like a really good player, and a player that would fit well into the team. But of course, this chap here, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of who he is, he's an Arsenal player. He is just one of England's really good young talents that I can't wait to see. I actually ended up involving Carroll in this deal, and I'll let you guys know why. Just because I feel as though Carroll, he's just not going to fit into the team. He's a good player, but I've said it in the last 2 episodes, I think, if you want to play Carroll, you have to have a team that revolves around Carroll, and that means really fast wingers and maybe like a 4-3-3 formation, or maybe a 4-3-2-1 formation, and you just have to have Carroll heading them in and things like that. But I took a look at Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I also took a look at Wilfred Zaha there, the Manchester United player. Both of those players have fantastic potential, so I decided, you know, why not put in offers for both of them, see which one would come out, which one I could get for a decent sort of price fund, I suppose. You know, I do have money in the transfer budget as well, so it was definitely on my mind. I really was interested in picking at least one of them up. You know, that was the big thing for me. I kept an eye on some of the other players. You know, this guy here is Sarabia. He looked really good. I was taking a look at some of his stats. 4-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. You know, he looked really good, but I don't know what it was. I think it was the fact that I'm just more familiar with the players like Wilfred Zaha there, and as well as the Ox, you know, Oxlade-Chamberlain. So for that reason, I was a little bit more inclined to jump towards them and to any of the other players that I may not have heard of necessarily too much. So this is another player that a lot of people have talked about. Nyang there, Mbe Nyang, something like that. He looks really, really good, and he plays for AC Milan, and I've just heard a lot of people rant and rave about him. So for that reason, I was a little bit interested in him, so I decided to take a look at him. But also Thomas Ince here, to age 21, 75 rated right winger, and going for around 4.1. But they did say, you know, because he's only got 11 months left on his contract, that I might be able to pick him up for around the 2.2 million marker. So I sent an offer, and you guys are going to have to wait until next episode, oh baby, until you guys can see who comes in, see who leaves, all that sort of good stuff. And until then, guys, I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye-bye.